Well, hello everybody. I'm Yota, and today I'm very happy to host Tamar Porcelijn, a flamenco dancer, and she's gonna talk to us about everything. Hi, Tamar.
Hello.
Well, first, I would like you to tell us some things about you, about who are you, and what do you do?
So yes, I'm Tamar Porcelijn. I'm from Amsterdam, Holland, and I'm a flamenco dancer. And I also do some modern dance as well.
Great. And how did you involve with dancing? Was it from your childhood? Or?
Yes, I started dancing as a child, quite young, I think. And I loved everything to do with dance and music. So I kept dancing all the way to high school. When I finished high school, I decided I wanted to be a professional dancer. So I auditioned for the conservatory in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam?
Yeah. And I got accepted. So yeah, that's where I did my professional training. But this was modern dance, jazz, classical ballet, all those kind of stuff. Yeah.
Wow. And then you started with your dance school, right?
Yes. So when I finished my professional training, I opened a studio here in Amsterdam to teach mainly modern dance, contemporary, and children's classes. And about, I think a year after that is when I actually made the transition to flamenco.
Flamenco.
Yeah.
And how was this transition? How did you start it?
Good question. So I think during my training at the conservatory, we did some small workshops with flamenco, and it felt really good for me in my body. I really liked the aesthetics, but most of all, it was the musical part, because during the contemporary training, I was a little bit frustrated throughout my whole school career, let's say, with the lack of attention for the music. So there was a lot of emphasis on technique, on body awareness, quality of movement, all very important and wonderful things, of course. But when it came to making dance pieces, it was not really encouraged to use the music directly as a motivation to start moving. Mm-hmm. And for me that was very hard, because my main motivation for dancing has always been the music. Yeah, so I really missed that part. And after I finished the conservatory, I realized that I was missing this part, and that in flamenco it had all these things that I was missing. So it had the musical part, and not just dancing to the music, but being a part of the music yourself, creating the rhythm. That was for me, and still is, one of the best parts of flamenco. And also the personal expression. So you can really bring out your personality, find your own way of moving, and the aesthetics. It just all fit together for me perfectly. So I did some private classes here in Amsterdam with Vida Peral.
Oh yeah.
And then after a while I realized, no, I really want to see if I can obtain a professional level. So that's why I went to Spain, to Seville. Initially for 1 year. This was 2009 or 10, I think. So I was going to go 1 year, and I stayed almost 10 years.
10 years. Studying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Studying and working after a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how was this experience? How was the learning experience for a foreigner? Because there are a lot of difficulties in understanding, right?
Yes. Well, of course, I think it did help that I had a professional dance training, so I had good control of my body, and I could pick up steps. That was the more easy part. But of course, there are so many aspects in flamenco that you need to learn. So actually what happened was I did a basic year at La Fundación, Cristina Heden.
Yeah.
And they wanted to move me up because I had some dance experience of a high level, but I really wanted to start from the basics. So I finished that year. It was very informative and very special year. And then I went to a smaller dance school outside of the city center, and I took classes with like 14-year-old
Wow.
kids. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I've never heard this.
I was really out of place because I was for them I'm tall, so I was this tall Dutch girl in a class with 14-year-old girls who were dancing flamenco much better than me, knew everything much better. But that's actually where I learned the basics. I learned how the structure of a dance is, how you communicate with the musicians, the singer and the guitar. So that's actually where I learned the most. And then once I had the basics down, I could go a bit quicker.
Yeah, that's very important. I totally agree.
So yeah.
And you also had singing lessons?
Yeah, well, not really singing
For
lessons, but yeah. So the school where I was studying was actually run by a guitarist, Eduardo Rebollar, who is very famous for accompanying singing.
Okay.
Singing, yeah. So he knows a lot about cante, and I was very often listening in the classes for guitarists of accompanying cante. And that's where I learned most about the singing. And also his wife, Yolanda, who was teaching the dance classes, really approached the dance classes from the point of view of having to work together with singers and guitarists. So, yeah, I picked up a lot of information about singing.
And I believe that it's the most useful for a dancer.
Yes, yeah.
And, well, you started flamenco dance as an adult, and do you think that this is something hard for someone? Because when you have training from your childhood in a different kind of dances or music, I think it's a bit difficult when you get older to get into this. How difficult was it for you?
Yes, so you mean the musical
Yeah.
part of it. It was not easy. I learned it pretty quickly, but I think part of it was because I was in Spain and I was around a lot of singers and guitars, so I was hearing the music all the time, and I was listening to it and I was actively searching for it. But it's true that if you haven't grown up around the rhythms and the melodies, it takes a while to get them into your system. And this takes time. I think there's no fast way.
Yeah.
You have to just listen and
I
listen
agree.
and listen.
And it helps. It always helps when you live there.
Yes, to have it around you. Also, very important, I think, is to learn Spanish. At least basic Spanish, but so you can understand what the singer is talking about. Or it also just the way Spanish people talk. Even also the gestures they use are very helpful when you are dancing, because it has a lot to do with everyday life. Yeah.
That's good to hear. And do you want to say some things about the way you work? How do you work? How do you create?
So for me the starting off point is always the music. So if I'm creating a traditional flamenco dance, let's say, for a tablao setting, I create a basic structure around the letra, falseta, escobilla. I create more or less an order, and I have some steps. And then when it comes to the singing, I don't usually rehearse a lot with the singer. I like to have each person do their own part. So if you're singing, I prefer that you sing the way you want to, the way you feel, you know, within the structure that I thought out, and then I react to it. So there's always this part of improvisation there. I think it's important.
Yeah, it is very important, and I think that in a tableau it's the most difficult.
Yes.
Because then everybody needs its own space.
Yes.
Well, what would you suggest to someone that would like to start learning flamenco?
I would suggest to find a teacher that you feel comfortable with, and somebody who has a good balance between giving you the joy of dancing right away with simple steps, but who can also explain everything that's behind it. Because I think when you first start doing flamenco dance, especially if you haven't done any kind of dancing or flamenco music before, it's a bit big. It's a big thing because you are learning steps, you are doing footwork, there's rhythms, there's singing. So I would just say be patient, take your time, and listen to a lot of flamenco music, but most of all.
Yeah, that's the way.
Yeah.
This is how everybody learns.
I think so.
On the 26th of January, you are performing in Duende.
Yes.
We will be very happy to see you dancing here. And would you like to say some things about your musicians, about the people you chose?
Yes, because I will be dancing with to the voice of Virginia Mellado, and the guitarist is Andres Angel. It's interesting because the three of us met the first year I was in Spain. We were all starting out, so we have known each other. Actually, it's an anniversary because
Really?
it will be. Yeah, I haven't thought of it, but actually it will be. I think it will be 10 years since we met, the three of us.
Wow, we're gonna celebrate.
Yes. So yeah, we were all starting out from different backgrounds, and we kept in touch. And I think actually that the two of them were also probably the first musicians I ever performed live with flamenco, I think. And we have had many experiences since then.
Really?
So yeah,
But
abroad, anyway.
They still live in Spain?
Yes, they both live in Seville, and I still go there a lot. And yeah, if there's some kind of performance in Seville, or we've been to Austria on tour together, yeah, whenever we can, we try to work with each other.
You work a lot with them.
Yes, yeah.
And in how come they come to Amsterdam? Are you gonna perform somewhere else as well?
Well, the two of them will perform on Saturday, the 25th, in Pata Negra, a different restaurant, but it will be not so much a flamenco concert. It will be more like Latin pop, where they play their own songs, because Virginia and Andres, they have their own music as well. So it's a very nice chance to hear something different. It has flamenco influences, but it sounds different. And we will do a workshop on Friday, the 24th. Buleria's workshop, where people can practice interacting with the music live and
that's
dancing.
A great
Yeah.
thing to practice, because the buleria is always super difficult, and
Yes.
it's nice to.
The best way is to practice with musicians also who are very experienced in interacting. Yeah, that's the important thing.
This happens on the 24th. Where?
Yes.
In your dance?
In my studio, yes. So in Studio Porcelijn, it's called. And yeah, there's still some spaces open.
Good to know. And yeah, what is the most important thing in your work?
The most important thing, I think, is to stay true to who I am. So even though I'm dancing flamenco, or whether it's flamenco or contemporary or whatever I do, I want to be me. So of course flamenco has its own culture and structure, and it's a Spanish art form, but I don't want to pretend I'm someone I'm not. So I'm not going to pretend I'm, I was born in Triana and I'm not. So I don't like to pretend. I like to be me, respecting all the traditions that flamenco gives us.
That's it. I so much agree with you. Yeah, it's totally true. Because it's very easy to get into this trap to start
copying.
Feeling, wearing all these flowers. And
yes, dressing up. Then it feels like I'm acting a different role.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel good to me.
That's very important. And what do you enjoy most when you dance?
What I enjoy most is the connection with the music and the musicians. So improvising, but also just making a nice rhythm or listening to the guitar or the singer do something beautiful. That's what I love most. And being part of that.
Yeah. That's it, the tablao sensation.
Yes.
And what is your opinion about the difference there is between the tablao and the performance for a theater?
I think there is a very big difference. I think that if you take what happens in a tablao and you put it directly into a theater, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because in a tablao you're very close, you feel the energy, you see the facial expression, you feel the footwork. In a theater you have to make changes, so it has to be more rehearsed, especially if there are more musicians, so you cannot improvise as much, I think. And also it depends on what you're interested in as a maker. So I love the, let's say, traditional flamenco very much. I think it's difficult to find a way to put that in a theater and get the same effect. But I also just really love dance in general. So I also like more modern explorations. For me, as long as it provokes an emotion, then it's okay. I don't care if you want to call it flamenco or danza or baile.
That's so true, what you say. And that's, this is what comes out from your soul when you dance.
Exactly.
What are your future plans, Tamar?
My future plans. Keep dancing.
Of course.
No, for now, actually, I've been going back a little bit to my contemporary roots, let's say.
Really?
Yes, and I'm trying to see if I can find a way that feels right for me to connect contemporary dance and flamenco without just mixing everything together and calling it fusion and that's it, because that's sort of the fashion right now a little bit. So I'm thinking if I can keep the essence of what moves me in flamenco and bring it to contemporary dance. Yes, the other way around, I'm not sure if it would work. To really bring contemporary dance into flamenco is harder for me, but it's very difficult. So I'm still searching.
But that means that you stay some hours on your studio studying.
Yes,
right?
a lot of hours. Yes, I spend a lot of time by myself in the studio, just in general, to practice. I also really love that time alone. And now lately I've been taking modern dance classes, which is very hard for the body after so many years. Yeah, it's just a completely different way of moving. And I'm trying in the studio to find to play around with this idea, to find ways to connect it, but it's going slowly. It's a slow process, but I would like to create a dance piece which is just dance, not necessarily flamenco so much, that just reflects everything that I have experienced in dance. But
So are you planning to make perhaps a performance from this?
Yes, that would be the end goal. But I don't really have a clear idea about how that will look. If it will be a modern dance performance with flamenco influences, if it will have flamenco music, I have no idea. But yeah, that's what I'm moving towards.
It's good. You let it flow.
Yes. Yeah. We'll see where it takes me.
Yeah. And well, where can people find you, Tamar?
Well, I have to say, people cannot online. People won't find very much about me. It's also one of my future plans to be a bit more visible. But I really do not like social media. So that's a bit of a problem in this day and age. So yeah, I'm looking for ways to show myself more.
But you have a website?
I have a website. It's mainly about my classes now. So my personal website for the work I make is still under construction, but in the coming months I will be posting some videos and things that I'm working on now to share the process.
You also have a Facebook page?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. For now I'm only actually on Facebook, no Instagram, nothing. It will come. But if you look for my name on Facebook, we can find you. Yeah.
Okay, Tamar, thank you very much for this first interview.
Yes, thank you.
You got all the call. It was my pleasure.
Yeah.
And good luck and have a lot of fun on the 26th. I will be here to enjoy.
Yes.
And thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you.